In this lesson, we are going to be creating the up and down moving hazard. So, to get started on that, I think we can go ahead and improve our workflow a little bit here. So let's go back to level 1. Yes, I'm going to save this level. And what I'm going to do is I am going to improve our prefab here a little bit. How I'm going to do that is I'm going to create an empty object, and I'm going to call this Buzzsaw holder. The reason why I'm doing this is because currently, for instance, if I try reusing the animations for the Buzzsaw in level 2, then the thing is, where its keyframes are in world space. So they're only gonna, this only animation is only gonna go from here to here in the world space. I can't move it around and have those animations do the side-to-side animation over here or over here or anywhere else. It's just here. So that's not all that great, to be honest. So I'm going to show you how I can fix that first in this one, and then we'll go back and do the prefab for the level 1 Buzzsaw. So here, just to fix this a little bit, I'm going to create empty here. I'm going to call this one, same thing. It's going to be called Buzzsaw holder. The capital H holder. Okay, there we go. And I'm going to position it at 0, 0, and 0. It's fine. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to child the Buzzsaw to that. Okay. So that's great. That's pretty cool. And now what I can do is if I move my Buzzsaw holder up and I press play, see, now it's actually moving up there. So that's pretty cool. So that's fixed the problem because now it's in the local space of the Buzzsaw holder. And because I positioned that at 0, 0, 0, it's basically like it started out as if the world space was the same as the Buzzsaw's animation was at. So it all works out. I'm just going to make sure I position this at 0, 0, 0, and then I child the Buzzsaw to it, and so that works. It's nice. And I'm just going to undo that move because I do want it there. So that's worked. That's worked now, and I can reuse that. In fact, I'm actually going to go ahead and make this side-to-side one a new prefab. So let's go ahead and drag this down here. And I'm going to rename this prefab. It's going to be called not Buzzsaw holder, but Buzz side to side. So that's cool. And so I can just drag this out and reuse it again. If I can find it, there it is over there. So I can position this one here. And now if I press play, you can see now I have 2 Buzzsaws. Pretty cool, right? Oh, and I got killed. But yeah, that's the point. Now let's go over to level 1. You do a similar process for that one. So go over to level 1. Make sure I save this scene, of course. And I'm going to go ahead and make sure this is positioned at 0, 0, 0. And luckily for this one, the animations for the Buzzsaw just rotations. So if I move this, it won't really affect that part. So I'm gonna make this also positioned at 0, 0, 0 just for when I child it to the Buzzsaw holder. I want it to be positioned at the same location because that'll make it easier in terms of moving it around later. So that's fine. And now I can move it over here. Or wait, I think I was moving just the Buzzsaw. I need to move the Buzzsaw holder. That's what's important here. Got to keep them together. Got to keep them in the same place now. So if I press play, let's make sure that that still works. Yep, cool. Can jump over that. Looks like this is a little bit high. We adjusted the height of our jump, and that seems to have made this a little bit too difficult to jump to. So let's go ahead and fix that. Let's see which one is the platform I need to change. This one here. Let's move that down a little bit. Maybe move it over too. So let's test the level again. So it's good to, whenever you make some changes, to test the level out, make sure it works still. And oops. Oh, anyway, I got to the second level. It's a strange transition right now, but it did load the next level. So cool. So now we're in the second level. And let's continue working on the second level now that we have all that working. Although we need to make sure we make this override our old prefab with this one. So I'm going to drag and drop that onto our original Buzzsaw prefab, replace. Now let's go over to level 2. So scenes, level 2, save this, play. Let's think, what do we want for this? Well, first off, it's a little Buzzsaw crazy right now. So I'm going to just move this other one a little out of the way for now. We can use it somewhere else in the level. But for now, I'm going to move over there. We have this first buzzsaw. It's going left to right. And we want a buzzsaw that will go up and down. That'll be one of our next things. So let's go ahead and just add in some more platforms for us to go on. So 2D, and then let's get go into prefabs. Let's get another 12. Why not? Or if we're going to use another 12, I guess we could just, we might want to get something else to vary it up a little bit. So let's get a 8, just like that. Cool. Okay. So with that, what I'm going to do is I want to put a buzzsaw that goes up and down here. So you have to jump over this first one and then jump over another one there before this one gets back to you. So that'll be interesting little challenge. And we might even just move this later in the level possibly, but it's good to we're sort of prototyping out this particular beat of a level, so it's just this one little scenario we're trying to get through. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab our buzzsaw side to side, the one that's right here. I'm just going to duplicate it and drag it over here. And we might want to just work on positioning these a little bit better. So this canvas is sort of getting in the way. It's having trouble selecting things. So I'm just going to go ahead and turn it off, change its set active to be off so I can select these more easily. Because it has been a pain to select things recently. So move this over a little bit. There we go. So now we have a good gap for that to go up and down between. And so to get that ball rolling, I'm going to go ahead and I need to create a new animator. So I'm going to duplicate the buzzsaw side to side, and I'm also going to duplicate the move side to side. Okay. So now I'm going to open up buzzsaw, this new one. I'm going to rename it. So instead of buzzsaw side to side, 1, it's going to be buzzsaw up and down. And we're going to rename this animation here to be move up and down. And now what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and get rid of this one in here. So get rid of the move side to side. Yep. And replace it with move up and down. Cool. So now we have that set up. Let's go to, I believe it's this one. Yep. And we want to go ahead and replace, we need to go to the thing that has the animator on it. We need to replace the controller with the new one. So there we go. So now it's buzzsaw up and down in the animator. Now we can work on changing that animation. So I'm going to go up to Window, and then I'm going to go to the Animation window. And if we play this, you'll see what's happening. It's just going side to side because we haven't changed it yet. So if I just stop that, I'm going to go to each of these keyframes and get rid of the position keyframe. So get rid of all those. So we still want to keep those rotation keyframes in there. Now let's go ahead and start putting in the keyframes for moving up and down. I want to go to the first frame, and now I want this to be maybe down here. That'll be fine. And then I want it to go all the way up to, let's just say, here. Here would be good. And then to go back down to where it started out. So I'll just copy that, just select the position keyframe, move over here on frame 120 and paste that. So if I play that, what does it look like? That looks pretty good. So now if we actually just close that up, and I'm going to go ahead and play and see what happens. There we go. That's kind of a cool challenge right there. So that looks fine. We just need to go ahead and save that as a new prefab. So let's go into our prefabs folder, and let's go ahead and just grab that one. So buzzsaw side to side, whatever. Drag it in here. Let's rename it. It's going to be not that terrible name, but it's going to be buzz up and down. Cool. So that's it. We now have our up and down buzzsaw. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next lesson.